Hello folks, welcome to the channel. Hope everybody is keeping well on this slightly overcast November day. It's 14 degrees centigrade outside, so the question is a man's best friend a GSD or the GSA? So there's only one way to find out, and that is to take the GSA out for a little bit of a ride and then just give you my initial thoughts and impressions of the new mighty BMW R1300GSA. But before we do any of that, let's roll the intro. Welcome back folks. So what we're going to do then, just very briefly, is just pull over into the car park here and then just nip off the bike and then just quickly walk around the bike, give you a few facts and figures without boring you stupid, and then go out for a ride and then back to the BMW dealership. So it's actually done only 57 miles, so it's pretty much brand spanking new. So what we'll do is to just find somewhere to park and have a quick walk around the bike and then do a bit of riding on the road, and I'll let you know what I think about it. So without further ado, let's get off the bike and have a quick walk around. Good thing is though, I've got the heater grips on because it is a little bit chilly out there, and the heated seats. So let's turn the bike off, have a walk around and tell you what I think of it. Screen goes down, right, and side stand, easy to find. There we go. There we go. So here it is then, BMW's R1300GSA, brand spanking new. First thing I'm going to say is, boy oh boy, it is a tall machine with a massive fuel tank, 30 litres. It is absolutely flipping enormous. It really is a big machine. I've got some notes, so let's have a walk around the mighty GS. First off, I'm going to say that I actually think it's quite a good looking machine. It looks a little bit like RoboCop for those of you who are old enough to remember the series or the film on TV, but I actually think it's a good looking machine. And if I was going to get one of these, then I would go for the triple black and I would go for the gold blingy wheels. But yeah, I think it's big and bold, so I quite like it actually. I like the design. The bike comes in 3 flavours. You have this one, the red one, then you have a blue one, which I believe is the trophy, then you have a black one, which is the triple black, and then finally you've got the green one, whose name I cannot pronounce. This is the TE model, so the basic price of this one, the red one, as it stands here, is something in the region of £20,635. So if you just got a bog standard GSA, well, that will set you about £18,780. And if you want one without a clutch lever, the ASA version, that's going to cost you £21,300. The price difference between this one here and the standard GS is something in the region of £1,500. Standard equipment then on the TE model that comes with heated grips, which are really good actually. I can vouch for that. You've got cruise control, tyre pressure monitoring system, keyless ride, indicators in the handguards. You have the electronic suspension or semi-active suspension, and you get a centre stand, and then you get various attachment options where you can shed more loads of money and buy all the accessories that BMW have got for the bike and the various mounting points around the bike to attach said extra luggage to, so you can spend an absolute fortune on this machine. So this one is the TE model, and that comes with the dynamic pack, which gives you Shift Assist Pro, and you get some sports brakes, and then you get riding modes Pro as well. You also get the touring pack with the TE version, and that gives you the electronic windscreen. You get the pannier fastening system to allow you to mount the BMW luggage, and then you get the nav prep for the GPS. So that's the TE model. Let's very quickly go from the front to the back, get on the bike, and then go out for a ride. Tyre wise, they've got the Tourance Next 2 tyres on there. They are an excellent tyre, and I say they're excellent because that's what I've got on my GS 1250. With the dynamic pack, you get the fancy red lettering on the brake calipers, and they are indeed Brembo brakes, and they look very smart. And at the back as well. Suspension front and rear is semi-active, electronically controlled, so you've got the telelever at the front and the power lever at the back. I quite like the new light, actually. It has grown on me. So we've got LED lighting at the front, and we've got these two new LED auxiliary lights, which aren't on at the moment, but maybe they come on when the engine starts. Quite like those, big and chunky. And then at the rear, again, LED lights. And we've got these integrated lights, which I generally don't like those at all. And you'll just get a little bit of flicker on there because of the frame rate of the camera. But yeah, not a great fan of the integrated lights. Come on, BMW, sort that one out. This one's got the radar control unit, so for the adaptive radar cruise control thing. So that's the unit at the front, and then you've got the radar unit at the back here. And then because it's got that system, you've got the blind spot detection system with the little triangles to let you know that something is in your blind spot as it approaches from the rear. And that is a really, really good idea. That I love that. Excellent safety feature. Got the new 1300cc engine down here. That's 145 horsepower with 149 newton meters of torque, and it's a smaller engine than the 1250. It's shorter, and then I think the gearbox is under here. I quite like the fact that you've got the oil level inspection window down here as well. So yeah, I quite like that. And with the chip pan kind of finish everywhere, it should be easier to keep clean, actually. Certainly from when you hose it down up here, so you should be able to keep the bike a lot cleaner than the old 1250 model. So yeah, quite like that finish, actually. Yeah, that should be quite robust. The new 1300, whether it be the 1300GS or the GSA, it's a brand new machine. And we've got the new steel frame. I don't know if that's just easier to manufacture, I don't know actually. But you've got the steel frame, and then you've got the subframe at the back there, which I believe part of it is aluminium. But yeah, it looks good. Does look good. Switchgear then, very simple. On the right hand side, we've got the on-off button to power the bike up, mode button for the various engine modes and maps, and then we have the engine start button and then the SOS emergency call button. So very easy to operate. We've got the whizzer wheel, which is again very easy, and then several buttons, and then you've got a multi-function button here, which through the menu system on the screen you can actually select various functions for the button, whether that be raising the screen up and down using the toggle button here, or selecting, shall we say, the heated grips and heated seating controls. Again, you can do that through the settings, and then you can select the rocker switch for the heating, the seats, etc., or raising the screen up and down, to name but a few things that you can do through this multi-function selector button here. So very, very simple, very intuitive, easy to understand. Nice chunky crash bars, and then at the back there we've got the drive shaft with the power lever rear suspension unit. Got the mounting brackets, which are nice and chunky for the aluminium cases you can get from BMW, which I think are about £1,500, and then you just twist these, and then that gives you power supply for the cases. I think there's a USB power supply that goes in the left-hand case, but my thing with these is somebody could always just come along and nick those. And again, one for the top case. And we haven't got one on the right-hand side because in the right-hand pannier there is no USB power socket. Styling wise then, yeah, I think it is a little bit Marmite-y, but I actually quite like Marmite, so not a problem with me actually. Weight wise, yeah, it's a little bit heavier than the standard GS 1300, so this bad boy, as they say, is going to weigh something in the region of 269 kilos on the road. And the standard 1300, that weighs 237 kilos, so it's about, what, 32 kilos heavier than the standard GS, so yeah, quite a little bit heavier. Got a 30 litre tank, and that's why you're going to get one of these, isn't it, folks? 30 litre tank, and it is humongous. 30 litres, and that's going to give you a tank range of something in the region of 380 miles or thereabouts. And they reckon it's going to give you something in the region of 57.6 miles per gallon or something like that. The standard 1300 then will give you about 58.9 miles per gallon, so this engine is slightly thirstier than the standard 1300 engine. I'm not sure the reason for that, maybe because it's a heavier bike, I guess, I don't know. On this bike you get more suspension travel compared to the standard 1300, so front travel is 210 millimeters, rear travel is 220 compared to 190 and 200 for the standard non-GSA 1300, so it's a little bit taller. Seat height therefore is a little bit taller. The standard GS is 850, this is 870 to 890 for the seat height. And on this bike I'm definitely on tippy toes, definitely. as the suspension is a little bit taller than the standard 1300 GS, it does therefore mean that the wheelbase is slightly longer as well. And if you're vertically challenged, BMW do a lower version of that system, and they call that the vehicle height control comfort, and that actually drops the suspension permanently by 20 millimeters, and when you come to a stop it lowers it by an extra 30 millimeters, and then as you ride off it just goes up again another 30 millimeters. But their low version is permanently 20 millimeters lower than the normal height of GSA, if that makes sense. And that system costs £515. Oh, man, that is fucking tippy toe. That is tippy toe, man. Is it easy to put on the centre stand? Let's have a look, shall we? Got the little peg on the side here, so just flip that out and then push down, excuse my backside, and then yeah, it's actually pretty easy actually. That's not bad at all. Yeah, and bringing it off the centre stand, yeah, it's all right. And the side stand, yeah, fairly easy to put down. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, not bad, fairly easy. It is a fairly tall bike, and if it was me, I think I'd be paying for that vehicle height control system that lowers the bike up and down as you come to a halt, because it is quite tall. So what is this big beast like to move around? So let's have a look, shall we? So the side stand, very easy to find, and 269 kilos of BMW's finest 1300 GSA. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad to move around. Sexy. Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad at all. Just got to be confident with it, that's all. There we go. Yeah, not bad at all. That's all right. That's yeah, that's pretty. There we go. That's what it's like to move about. Shall we go for a little bit of a ride then? So let's get on the bike then. It is a tall machine. However many kilos it was, it's actually fairly easy to pick up, and yeah, everything is nice and comfortable. Actually, the seat is comfy. Yeah, it's just a nice place to be. And you've got these, I don't know what you call these plastic bits on the top to put your cup of coffee on or something when you're having a little break somewhere after the 380 miles that you can do on the tank range. Yeah, it's a comfortable place to be. So let's power the bike up. I didn't say you've got a keyless ride, keyless fuel cap, and then you just put the key in the tray. If you've got an iPhone, you can put the iPhone in there with a connecting cable, charge it, because you've got a charging port in there as well. And I think you've got a charging port, 12 volt down here as well. So they've got you sort of catered for most things. So standard 6.5 inch screen. Let's start the bike. The clutch is nice. Yeah, it's nice place to be, but it is a tall bike. It really is a tall bike. What else is there to say about it? Yeah, we've already spoken about the switch gear, standard switch gear, not backlit. And I do like the blind spot detection system from a safety point of view. That is excellent, especially when the weather is a little bit inclement. And whilst we're here, you've got the, I'm going to call it the multi-function button. You can allocate certain functions to it. You press it and then it brings up a list of items on the menu. So at the moment I've got the heating is allocated to the rocker button. So that's the multi-function button, and then you allocate what the rocker button does. So we can I can scroll down with the whizzer wheel to say let's now make it the windscreen. So just going to select OK. So the rocker switch here is now operating the windscreen. So let's just clear the screen, and then as if by magic, there we go, the rocker switch is doing the windscreen. And if I want to change it to the heated grips, again, because there's not enough space to put all the buttons on here, go up to heating, so select heating with the whizzer wheel, then go to OK, and then now the rocker buttons are actually controlling the heated grips and heated seats. So there's the rocker button, just for demonstration purposes. There we go. So the top is the heated grips, bottom is the heated seat. So let's press that up, and then you can see 3, 2, 1, 0 is off. Back to 3 because let's go back to 3 because it is pretty cold. And then the bottom part of the rocker button, then that is the heated seat off, or back to 3. So no, let's go back to 3 for both. 3, scroll through 3, 2 quick, 3 and 3. So very easy to operate, very easy to operate. And I'm going to go back to the windscreen for that. There we go, black dot means that's what you selected. So it really is very easy to operate. It's a nice 6.5 inch screen. What else is there to say about it? Mode button on here, so you can have 4 riding modes, which does the suspension and the engine characteristics. And this has got the pro modes. So I've got an eco just to show you what eco's like. I never use that really unless you're running out of fuel. And then you've got road, dynamic pro. So pro means programmable, so you can go into the settings and just put your own preferences in there. And enduro pro if you're going to go off-road and start locking the back wheel up. Warning ABS and DTC setting. So let's get rid of that. Let's just go to, I'm going to go to dynamic pro. So that's the mode you can do. The menu button then, you all know about the BMW's settings. Let's go down there. Yeah, you can just scroll through. I'll put something up here to dive a bit more into those, but it's just an initial ride of the BMW. I don't want to bore you guys stupid. So yeah, it's very, very intuitive. It's one of the easiest systems to operate. Sport mode, if you want sport mode, select that and you get lean angle and all that, brake and DTC and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I'm not really into that at all, if I'm being honest. Make sure it's still recording. So I'm going to get rid of that. My vehicle, yeah, nice picture of the BMW, and you just, whatever you want to know about what's going on the bike. So let's go for a little bit of a run. So I'm going to say it really is a tall bike. It really is a tall bike, and it's a heavy bike, 269 kilos. But once you get going, yeah, very, very, very easy to maneuver. Really is. On the brake pedal, I don't think I showed it, but there is if you're going to go off-road, you can actually spin it around, and just makes it easier to go off-road if you're standing up. But I didn't show that. But yeah, once you get going, it's very, very easy to move. And the Touring's next two tyres, I'm a big fan of those. I've got those on my GS 1250, excellent tyre. So I've got a nice warm bottom with a heated seat. Heated grips are working well, and they're amazing, those heated grips. There's EasyJet. Yes, I'll be back flying hopefully in a couple of months. Yes, come on EasyJet. Woof. Always interesting coming into Jersey. Bit of a short runway, plonk it on. I'm going to say, from a braking point of view, it's a new bike. Brakes are still bedding in, I guess, a little bit, but yeah, the brakes are fine. Nothing behind me. Yeah, nice and progressive. 2 fingers, absolutely fine. Clutch is nice and light, hydraulic clutch. It's all good, all adjustable. Seating position, I've ridden a 1300 standard GS, very, very comfy, and I think the seat is going to be a nice place to be for the 380 miles that this 30 litre tank can do. Yeah, it's going to be a comfortable place. The screen is absolutely superb. I think that is one of the best things about the bike, is that screen. I think the function button is on the screen, so yeah, if I put the screen up, I don't know if you can notice any change in the audio quality, but that is absolutely superb. That really is. Again, no buffeting, nothing. So BMW have done an absolutely brilliant job with that screen, and you can get all kind of accessories to put other wings around here or something like that I've seen on the BMW website. But the screen is absolutely awesome. It really is. It's a very nice screen. And then now I've lowered it and I can actually feel the wind again. So yeah, very, very effective screen. Good job BMW. As I said, I like the blind spot detection system, which comes with the radar assisted cruise control. Again, it's an excellent system. Yeah, I really like that. The engine, I'm going to say that the engine sounds really, really agricultural. It's certainly noisier. In my point of view, it's noisier than my 1250 engine. I know I don't wear earplugs when I'm just riding around at 40 miles an hour, but that's what I do all the time. And this is definitely a noisier engine, but it is definitely a smoother engine than my 1250 and more responsive than my 1250, notwithstanding the fact that I have had that 1250 engine hilltop. So the engine on the new 1300 with 145 horsepower, 149 newton meters of torque, excellent. It really is good. And the gearbox, you just hear a little bit of a whine from the gearbox. The gearbox now sits underneath the engine itself, and the engine is shorter as well. So the whole bike is brand new, both the GSA and the base 1300. So it's a totally brand new bike, but I do find the engine just a little bit noisy, but definitely smoother, with a bit more poke to it. I am in Dynamic Pro though. Let's talk about the modes then. So yeah, just press the mode button and you can program a minimum of 2, maximum of 4 pre-selected modes in there depending on what you're doing. So if you only wanted 2, you're going to go Enduro and Dynamic Pro. Then the minute you go off the road, you just stab the mode button and that will take you without looking into the Enduro mode, so you can start sort of spinning the back wheel up and backing it in and jumping on the back brake and skidding it around on the fire roads. But at the moment I've got 4 on there, so I'm just going to go to eco mode and just show you that, and I wouldn't actually use that. So eco mode, there we go, you get this green bar. If you're running a bit low on fuel and you want to eke out as much range as possible, put it in eco mode and then just get as much of the green band as you can. And then if you want to overtake something, you still can overtake something, so you still got the power there. But I'd never use that. We'll never say never, but I wouldn't use it. Back to Dynamic Pro. There we go, Dynamic Pro. So the engine end, very nice, but it is a bit noisier than the than my 1250. The gear lever, it doesn't feel like it's kind of connected to anything, if that makes sense. It feels a little bit mushy when you select the next gear. It's not very positive. I don't know if it's just like a kind of switch really. I've ridden the clutchless bike and I'm not a fan of that, but it's not as engaging as having a clutch, I don't think. But I would say that the gear box, again with the quick shifter or Assist Pro, whatever it's called, is better than the 1250. But it just all feels a little bit more, it does sound a little bit more agricultural. Certainly noisier engine in my humble opinion, but it does go very well. And it blips down as well, whereas the 1250 sometimes doesn't blip down, but this certainly does blip down. And the ride quality is a head and shoulders above the 1250. Just feels more planted, more plush, more comfortable, means you can do more miles. And I'm gonna say I don't think it's going to be as flexible when you're on the gas on the 1250 around the bends. You do just feel the whole thing twitching a little bit, flexing, whereas this is another level. This is really good, very impressive, very impressive. Yeah, we like it a lot. I like it a lot. But when you're going down the gearbox with the clutch, it does feel a little bit clunky. But the actual shift assist, quick shifter, whatever you want to call it, is better than my 1250. Not too much dive from the front when you put the brakes on. Yeah, it's nice, it's good, but man, it's a tall bike. It's a tall bike. You know, you come to a halt somewhere slightly, just lose your balance a bit and you could be over. So maybe if you're looking at getting one of these and you're only 5'9" like I am with a 32-inch leg on tippy toe, then you might want to consider that electronic height adaptive thing, that when you come to stop it just lowers. I think that might save you, and it's another £515. And that's the thing, this bike is full of electronics now, and you get your 3-year warranty, service interval 6,000 miles. I think you're getting to the point now where you really want to be looking at a 4-year warranty. You know, people are spending 20 grand on these bikes, or upwards of £20,000, and then you sort of put luggage on it and all that kind of stuff, and you're getting a 3-year warranty. So maybe they want to start looking at 4 years. And I think if I got one of these, yeah, I'd buy the 4th year. Maybe that's what they're relying on people doing, is buying the 4th year. But maybe BMW should actually do a 4-year warranty now. In relation to what the bike sounds like, I'm just going to put a clip here, and you can have a listen to the glorious 1300cc boxer engine in all its glory. From a riding position, what I did notice when I got on the bike was the fact that with this massively wide tank, your legs are actually splayed open a little bit. So I think, you know, my knees are rubbing against this very nice sort of brushed aluminium effect tank, which looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, my legs are just brushing up against it, and they just feel like they're being opened up. But I guess possibly you're going to get used to that, I guess. Not uncomfortable, but I just pointed out because that's one of the first thoughts that I thought was, oh yeah, my legs are like wide open. But I think you get used to that. From a handling point of view, you certainly don't feel that 269 kilos. It just, for a massive bike, it just goes very nice. Up and down the gearbox, quick shift is good. Yeah, it's good. It's all right. We like it. We like it. I think you could sit on the motorway for hours on end behind the screen. That screen, as I said earlier on, is absolutely superb. So, comfy seat, huge tank range, 380 miles, good screen. Yeah, you're going to be sat there for hours. You know, yeah, no problem at all. Absolutely no problem at all. You can do, yeah, some long days in the saddle on this bike, I reckon. Long days. And for a big bike, you know, it certainly hustles, really does hustle. And if you want to get a bit of a lick on, there's plenty of power, more than enough power. More than enough power. Yeah, lots of overtaking, more than enough power. And very, very flickable for such a big machine. Very flickable. Very flickable. How on earth do they get a big bike like this to be as flickable as what it is? Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. And the engine as well, nice and responsive. I know I'm in Dynamic Pro, but really super responsive. So 4th gear, there we go, 2,500 revs, and it just wants to go. Down the box. Does feel tall though. Just tip it in. Yeah. On the brakes. Yeah, goes well. Well done BMW, does go well. It's a good machine. So it should be for the price. So this is where you potentially get the problem, is you come to a yellow line, come to a stop, and you really are on tippy toe. You know, I am literally on tippy toe. So if you get caught out with a camber or something, or slightly off balance, you know, your pillion passenger moves, you could be over. So you'd have to bear that in mind. Be very careful. But it has no right to handle like it does for such a big bike. And compared to my GS1250, you do seem to get more feel from the front end. I know with the telelever suspension, it sort of separates the braking force from the steering, but you do kind of feel a little bit more what the 19-inch front wheel is doing. Yeah. but it just, I mean, it does tip in really, really well, and you can sort of kind of feel what the front wheel's doing. Now, I must admit, I would not want to go off-road with this. One, it's an expensive bike. Two, I just haven't got the off-road ability to take something like this off-road. So yeah, good luck if you're going to take this off-road. This is a beast and a half, but I'm sure it can do it, but I wouldn't be doing it if it was mine, put it that way. But who would buy this? Well, somebody wants to do some round the world trips, I suppose, 380 miles from the tank. But if you're, you know, I'm 5'9", 32-inch leg, and this bike fits me fine. It's just I am on tippy toes. But I guess if you're a bigger kind of person, rider, then yeah, this bike is going to suit you. If you're 6 foot, you know, 6 footer plus, then this is going to be the bike that definitely would suit you, because it is that much taller. And if you're going to go off-roading and you want to load it with all the bags you can attach to the side and all that kind of stuff, again, with the fuel range 380 miles, then this is going to be the bike for you. Or if you're a taller rider, bigger chap or chapess, and you just need a physically bigger bike so you don't look silly on a small normal bike that I would sort of buy, but I wouldn't want to go off-road on it. I think it would scare the living daylights out of me, because I'd be worried about picking the thing up. But if you're not worried about that, or you've got the skill set to go off-road, then it won't be a problem. It's a cracking bit of kit, actually. Really nice bit of kit. Engine's very usable, low down. Yeah, what can I say? But that screen is absolutely amazing. The screen is superb. Lovely smooth engine, brakes are good, suspension is certainly better than my GSA. Everything has just gone up another notch, you know. Plenty of power. You don't need any more power than that, just for the overtake when you want to go, just twist and go. It really does go very well, and it's just a better package, if I'm being honest. It's just goes very well. You know, your legs are slightly splayed out because of this huge 30-litre tank. But if you can just get used to how tall it is, again, you might just have to go for that up and down adaptive stop and go suspension, just to lower it as you stop and then rise it to the normal level as you ride off, costing 515 quid. You might really want to consider that, because you don't want to start losing your footing and then the bike goes over, because I wouldn't want to pick this up. So what do I like about the bike then? I just think it's you want to do some big mileage on it. It's comfortable, goes well, stops well, turns in really well for a big machine like this. Yeah, and I really like that windscreen. It's just very good, lovely responsive engine. It's quiet, or the engine is nice and smooth. Things I don't like, it's a little bit of a noisy engine, but it's really smooth. I hope that makes sense when I say it's a noisy engine. I don't know if it's to do with acoustics or whatever, but it just does seem to be a little bit noisier, but earplugs in shouldn't be a problem. The gearbox is at times a little bit clunky. I think it's the kind of bike that's going to do what it says on the can. It's an adventure bike. You can go and have lots of adventures on it, but you've just got to be you've got to have long tippy toes, basically. Yeah, do you go for the standard GS1300 or the GS1300GSA? Yeah, I don't know. And then what colour do you go for? All those decisions you folks out there have got to make. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I'm actually hoping that BMW are going to bring out an M1300GS, and that would be the one that I'd sort of go for. Would I go for the 30-litre GSA? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the split is it's normally about 55-45 in favour of the GSA, I believe, when you go into the showroom. I'm not sure. There's always that decision. Do you go for the big one or the small GS? Not sure. Would I go for the big GS? Yeah, not sure. I don't know. My bladder wouldn't last 380 miles, I don't think. But again, depending on where you're going, then you may need this. If you're going up Norway somewhere, then yeah, you might want something with a humongous fuel range and carry a few more, fuel bottles as well. Yeah, I just don't know if I go for the GSA, but it is a very, very capable machine, far more capable than me. But yeah, day-to-day riding, it's a big beast, but yeah, you could commute on it fairly easily, I guess. Yeah, no problem at all. It goes well. I mean, it just turns in, does turn in really well, and the actual ride quality is very, very good, very good, much better than my 1250. I've got to keep my 1250, which is still very good, but this is definitely a plusher ride, better engine, but it's noisier. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision, go down to your local dealer and take one out for a ride. Well, that's it. I think that's pretty much enough for me. I'm going to weave my way through the traffic and take this big beast back to its rightful owner at the Mansell Collection. I'm going to mention the looks of the bike. Now, I quite like the looks of the bike. I think they look really manly, if I'm allowed to say that this day and age. I just think it looks very purposeful, very beefy, and yeah, you could ride it off the edge of a cliff and it would just get up and brush itself down and it would carry on going. It's just got that sort of that indestructible look about it. So to be honest, when I first saw it, I thought, yeah, I quite like that. I know it is a little bit Marmite, but yeah, I like the look of the bike. Actually, I do like the look of it. Slow moving traffic, not a problem, nicely balanced bike. Now, at the start of the video I did say GSD or GSA. My YouTube channel, GSD 321 German Shepherd Dog, is what that bit stands for. And those of you that have been following my channel, I do like the blind spot stuff, that's really good safety feature. Those of you that have been following my channel know that I always try to have my 2 German Shepherds in the background when I'm in the man cave. Now, a couple of weeks ago I was away in France on my GS 1250, France is down that way somewhere, and sadly my 8-year-old, we had to put her to sleep. Heart failure, out the blue, terrible, so hence the bit at the start, GSD or GSA. So it's hands down, GSD is going to beat the GSA without a shadow of a doubt. I'm still in mourning, gutted, heartbroken, so the GSD is going to win it for me, but the GSA comes in a really close second, so that was the reason for the title on the thumbnail, GSD or GSA. Thanks for all your comments as well that you've made when you knew about the fact that I'd lost one of my German Shepherds. So flickable, but it's going to come in second. Well folks, we're just arriving back at my BMW dealer. I do hope you found the video of some use to yourselves from an entertainment point of view and an informative point of view. If you're in the market for one of these BMW R1300GSAs, what a great machine. Pop down to your local BMW dealer, wherever that may be. In my case, it's here. Thanks guys for letting me take the bike out, really enjoyed it. It's been fun, but there we go, look, the screen goes down, very nice, and yeah, enjoyed it. What a big machine. And folks, yeah, go down to your local dealer, and that has been BMW's R1300GSA, coming in a very close second to the GSDs. Cheerio for now, do all that YouTube stuff, bye bye.